Together we are but first coffee. Susie's just our host, but what matters most is we are a team. Together we are all safe here, and so are you. Among friends and mods we are safe. We talk about trauma, break down drama of life, death, happy or sad, even mad. We discuss it all here. Together we will thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Together we fight cults or fight addictions. If not with experience, with love, and we don't judge. Please understand, this is a safe place to land. Please understand, you're not alone. This is a safe place to land. Together we thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Because we are but first coffee, and Susie welcomes us all here. Together we are but first coffee, and Susie.
Can you hear me now? It shouldn't be muted, but it said it was. So, anybody, Jan, can you hear me back there? Okay, okay. Just making sure. Thanks, Jan. You don't know how much it helps sometimes to look down and see that somebody's in the back office. It's like they're kind of there to protect me or something, protect me from myself, probably. But anyway, it's just nice. It's just nice to have somebody there with you. So, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's feeling fine. I am still trying to get over this flu, uh, but here I am. I just took some more medicine, and Mark's home early. He's already sitting over there. He scared me. Actually, I thought I had fallen asleep or something and missed my live because I was sitting on the bed in our bedroom, and I was playing solitaire, and I was just kind of not really dozing, but just kinda, off in la la land kinda thing, and then I heard him come in, and I thought, "Crap, did I go to sleep?" Because I just knew that I had missed the live, but anyway, yeah, no, he was just early. Actually, he was on time. I forget this is a new year, he's got a new schedule at work, he's only working 30 hours a week now, and so he gets to be home more, and I'm thrilled with that. So, anyway, I'm glad to see everybody that's here. Hope you're all doing good. Hope nobody's too sick. I see several people in the chat. I'm going to say hi to you and then we're going to get started. So let's see here. Darcy's, it is always good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Heat My Shorts is here. Always good to see you. Always. Marilee, Jersey Jan is in the back office taking care of starring some comments. Gosh, y'all, I took allergy medicine. I took cold and flu medicine. I need like a specific don't let my nose itch medicine. If anybody figures out what that is, let me know. So Marilee's here. I don't know if I said hi to you. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So anyway, Eileen Bradley is here. Good to see you too. Indigo is here. Thank you so much for being a member. It is good to see you too. Julia, she's here. Always glad to see her. Let's see here. B, good to see you too. Boy, we got everybody tonight. The whole group is here, right? John is here too. Oh, you're working, but wanted to send love to Susie and the gang. Well, we send love right back to you. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get started because this is going to be kind of a emotional one, actually, for me and probably a lot of you, and hopefully in a good way. I hope. So, I am going to refer often to my notes because I've just been very emotional the last few days. And when I get overly emotional, my brain doesn't brain the way it ought to. And I, 100 thoughts are going through my head at once. And so I tend to just, it's like a fight or flight or freeze kind of deal. Only I do all of them at the same time. So anyway, it's better if Susie has notes, or else I'll just be sitting there staring at the screen like I don't know. So I promised this year that y'all were going to get my full, authentic, unfiltered self, and I kind of thought that that would be a good thing, but I'm not really sure at this point. I truly wasn't expecting to have to go quite this vulnerable so soon, but here we are, and I think that it's needed. So, if you all are on my Facebook page, probably nothing that I'm going to say here tonight is going to surprise you because I have pretty much said exactly what I think about pretty much everything on Facebook the last few days. And, I have put my feelings out there pretty clearly, and for the most part, the you know the what I'm hearing back from people has been positive. There's been a couple, and I honestly don't care. I mean, I do, I guess, but not really. They don't care how I feel. So, I think this needs to be like a mutual thing where we all care about how each other feels. And so far, for a long time, it's felt like that I have censored myself and kept myself quiet in a lot of areas just to not hurt feelings. So, that's over. So anyway, y'all, we are not a political channel, and I do not intend to make it a political channel. But at the same time, a lot of y'all already know that I'm an evil, woke, snowflake, Democrat, psycho, whatever they're calling us today. But I normally can keep my feelings pretty neutral and accept other people's thoughts, and I might not like them, but I can, move forward from them, um, accepting different political views or even religious views and all that. But it's been really hard the last few days, and I might not be quite as accepting and neutral today. But y'all, today I'm not a Democrat. I'm a citizen of this country and of this world. And I am literally shattered. I am shattered by what has been going on. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm disillusioned. I'm even embarrassed. And I am just physically, mentally, and emotionally shattered. And I really want this to be a peer support channel. And that's what I really, really hope that it continues to be. But I'm not a professional. I am just me. And I tried to figure out ways that we could talk about what's been going on, and specifically with this incident with ice in Minnesota. But I don't have the words. I don't have words that I feel are adequate or offer the support that I would want to offer everybody, that what everybody might need today. So I went online, you know me, I'm always researching. And I read a lot, from professionals, people that are way smarter than me, and I don't know. It really just kind of pissed me off. And I thought, if I go live with this bullshit, even I'm going to know that I've lost the plot, that I have like went off into some kind of la land, and I'm not even being real. I mean, we all know, turn off the TV, get away from the internet. We know those things. This is kind of not just stupid drama. This is serious stuff that's going on now, especially in this country. But what happens in this country does affect the rest of the world. And so I think that we're all kind of, you know, waiting and watching, and trying to see what the hell is going on, and what's next. What is next? And so if you're feeling like that, I want you to know that I see you. I am you. I too am hurt. I'm confused. And I'm scared. Yes, scared. Because in this country, we're used to outside threats. We accept our military goes off to war. And yes, when September 11th happened, it brought terrorism straight to us. But that was not something that we were ever used to having. And it was by a foreign group. I don't think that anybody really living today has ever really lived through what's happening here today. We've never had an administration who has basically declared war on our democracy. And I'm sorry, but anybody that's denying that is happening is either extremely naive or complacent. Y'all, this didn't start with Renee Nicole Good, but it changed it. It escalated it. It brought it out of the shadows. We are at war. We are under attack by this evil man who's residing in the White House. I have no wise words. I have no prayers that feel adequate. I'm just a host of a tiny little struggling YouTube channel, a host that is humiliated by what is going on in the Oval Office of this country. I sit and I wonder what's going to be enough. What's going to be enough for people to look at him and see what so many of us have seen for decades? You know, he's been convicted of retaining national defense information, concealing documents, and obstruction of justice. And this is the first time that that has ever happened. Everybody went ape shit over the stuff with Richard Nixon, and it was nothing compared to this. Nothing. At least Nixon had the love of country, maybe enough to resign and go on, and stop. He is still awaiting Trump is sentencing. It's been delayed because apparently we don't sentence sitting presidents. Why the hell they did not take care of that before he won the election is beyond me. But we don't sentence sitting presidents, which makes the fact that everywhere I look, I see signs and flags and everything that he's going to continue being president, after the next election, which is unconstitutional. So I just want to say, all you patriots out there, you need to check yourself. That's not patriotism. That's a cult. And this channel covers cults. He's awaiting other trials once he gets out of office, which is probably another reason that he is determined that he's not leaving. And I'm determined that he is. He's got other state and federal charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, solicitation of public officials, falsification of business records. That had to do with Stormy Daniels, and how he paid her all that money because they didn't have sex. Hmm. I didn't have sex with him. He could pay me some money if he wanted to, and I would never claim we did. There are defraudment cases, business fraud cases, and there's more. There's multiple accusations of rape and sexual assaults. And if you believe that his name is not on those Epstein files, I can't even help you. I'm going to tell you clearly and straight up and honest that if Jesus Christ's name was on those documents, I would want to know it. And if he had had any kind of sexual relations with children, I would want him prosecuted and in prison. Now, I know that Jesus Christ is not on those documents, but I just as much as I know that I know that he isn't, I know that Trump is. And I know that if this was Obama or a woman, his cult would be carrying a rope and pitchforks, and I can't think of what those are called, but those sticks with the flame on top of it. Torches. God, see, my brain's not braining. And they would be demanding demanding a public execution, probably on the White House steps or something, you know? But Trump's not brown or female. What I intended to do was I intended to come on here and talk to you all about the stages of grief, and that yes, we are actually in grief, that with what's going on in this country and so close to home so much of the time. I mean, so many of you have told me that ICE is in your cities, not all of which are blue cities. ICE is in Tulsa. They've been wreaking havoc in Tulsa. And there's been a pretty good protest. And I'm telling you, if I wasn't sick as a dog and putting on 14 layers of makeup to come on here, I would be in those protests right along with them. And if they're still doing it when I feel better, I'll be there. But I want to talk about, just for a minute, the 5 steps of grieving, because I believe that we are grieving. We are not only the murder of Renee Nicole Good, but we are grieving this country, the country we love, and the country that other places in this world used to respect. We are grieving that we are now a laughing stock, that we are now someone who's not respected but feared. And I don't believe those two things are the same. I don't think that you have to fear someone to respect them. But anyway, so the stages are denial, which when I first heard about her murder, I didn't want to hear it. I denied it to myself, you know. I turned it off. It sometimes I have to step away from things and build up, I don't even know what it would be. I don't know. Strength to deal with things. But first step is denial, and I'm sure that her family and friends went through this denial, like, this can't be true. This didn't happen. This is a dream. The second step or stage of grief is anger, and I am stuck square in the anger stage right now. And when I get angry, I cry. So, yeah, it's been a weepy few days. Let's just say I've not had to add those imitation tears drops that my eye surgeon wants so badly. My eyes have had plenty of real tears. The third stage is bargaining. And that can include, you know, like, take me instead, that kind of deal. But it also is the whole what if, you know, what if this had happened, if that had happened, what if this did this or this person did that, and you know, that whole thing. Like, it's like an almost making sense of it. And in this case, there is no sense in it. There's no sense to be made. The fourth step, and I think that I kind of venture into that one a little bit too, is depression, where it's just bone crushing pain and sadness. And like that nothing's going to be okay again. The fifth is acceptance, and that doesn't mean that you stop grieving. It means that you learn how to move on without that bone crushing depression or anger or whatever. But the problem, see, with these 5 stages is that all the experts agree that they're not linear, that they bounce back and forth all around, frontwards and backwards and sideways forever and ever. And in some ways, I think that that's good. I still grieve for the children that we have lost in all of these school shootings. There are some days that I can't get their little faces out of my mind, that I just want to go to bed and curl up. And these children are not my children, thank God. And I think that Renee Nicole Good is going to be another of those cases where I just some days can't get past it, because this shit is not supposed to happen in this country. It's just not supposed to. I am still stuck in anger. I am angry that an masked ICE agent was so upset that Renee's wife was video recording him, that he literally took his phone from his right hand and put it in his left hand so that he could reach for his gun as he circled her SUV, and that he planted his feet and that he shot her in the face 3 times. I am angry that her last words were, "I'm not mad at you." But his first words were, "fucking bitch." I am angry that he was whisked away to safety while she was slumped over her steering wheel, hopefully already dead, because I can't stand the thought that she was suffering. I am angry that there was literally a doctor on scene, feet from her, and that he begged. I saw the video. I'm not just taking somebody's word for it. So some of my Facebook friends can kiss my ass. I'm not taking word for anything. I'm watching videos. They are taking the word for things. This doctor begged, "I'm a doctor. Let me do CPR. Let me render CPR," whatever he said, but let me do CPR. Not only was he refused, but he was threatened. I am angry that people were screaming, "She's dying. You murdered her." As more than one ICE agent said, "I don't care." I'm also angry that it was a full 15 minutes before EMT could get to her, not because they were slow, because there were so many ICE vehicles parked this way and that way and all that all over the place that they couldn't get through. So the EMTs had to carry their equipment and everything and, meander their way down there to her running. I'm angry that her wife was made to sit alone in the snow and just watch as he was whisked off and nobody cared about her. I'm angry that our president and our vice president called her a domestic terrorist. I want to know who the hell she was terrorizing. She didn't look very threatening to me in a SUV saying, "I'm not mad at you," with all these little stuffies from her little daughters in the glove compartment and the seat and everything. Have y'all seen the picture of the blood on the, what do you call it? I'm sorry, guys. What's that called, Mark, that comes out when you hit something? Airbag. Thank you. I told you, I'm not braining. Y'all, her and her wife were on a list of many who expected. I don't know if in Minneapolis, I don't know if you have to, sign up if you're going to protest or something. And they were on a list with many people that were going to peacefully protest ICE. And yet I hear, well, she was protesting. They were protesting. Well, as of right now, protesting and voting are still legal in this country. In fact, we watch protests on this in this community every Friday. We watch the Clearwater crew in Clearwater, Florida protest Scientology, and I'm always afraid that somebody's going to get arrested or something. But now I'm like, now I'm afraid that somebody's going to get killed. People say that we don't know what the lead up to that moment was, that we don't know what the previous 10, 15 minutes or whatever were, but I don't care. I've seen enough footage to know that the ice truck that she waved on, that went in front of her, they didn't seem to think that she was a threat. There were a lot of other agents, all masked, of course, with their badges covered, refusing to tell who they are or anything, which is against the law, by the way. But there were a lot of these agents around, and they were standing around talking to each other, standing there talking to protesters. You know, they didn't seem concerned with her until they heard those 3 shots ring out. And of course, they duck and they look, and. This is murder, y'all. I have I have friends that are law enforcement that say this is murder. I believe it's murder, and I believe that Trump's got her blood on his hands. I also believe, and this is just my little conspiracy theory, that Vance probably already had little Charlie Kirk blood on his hands. He's drenched in hers now. Trump's particular kind of evil and a whole lot of stupid. But JD Vance is a whole other level of evil. And all I keep hearing in my head is that whole at first they came for the immigrants. And I want everybody to think about that. I want you to think about the fact that at first they came for the immigrants. And then they came for this, and then they came for that, and then they came for this. And then when they came for me, there was nobody left to fight for me. Y'all, this isn't about Democrats and Republicans. This is about evil, absolute evil. And if we don't lay our differences down and learn to fight together, this country, this world, because what happens in the United States does affect the world. We are headed for some kind of modern day Holocaust, and some people want to deny that it happened, which is ridiculous. But we're headed there. And I understand fully that me coming on here today and saying exactly what I think and exactly how I'm feeling could easily cost me your respect. It could cost me this channel, but I'm all right with that. You know, as they say, this is the hill I'm willing to die on. I mean, I love y'all. Whether you agree with me or not, I still love you. I love this channel and I love this country. You know, when I learned to type a long time ago, back when Jesus was a baby, y'all, it was well before I took a class. My mom made me type this thing. It says, you know, now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country. I always thought that that was like some big, brilliant thing that Kennedy or some other president said. And so I looked it up today and no, it wasn't. I mean, they may have ended up saying it at some point, but it was not them who said it first. It was just a typing exercise, and it's credited to Charles E. Weller in about 1901. But its meaning has never felt more real than it does to me right now, and more scary. And I mean it. I do. I love all of you. Whether we agree or not, I am finding it harder to understand some people's just love of that man. Even my immediate family. Not all of them, but some. I really want us all to pray or whatever, you know, you all do, what each individual person does, good vibes, good thoughts, good, you know, whatever. But for this country, because no matter what, I mean, we are shattered. We need Jesus or whatever higher power you believe in. And I'm not here to argue politics or religion. I'm here to argue what is right and wrong. This administration is not a Republican administration. I'm married to a Republican. I have voted Republican and would again. This is a Trump cult. And if you look at all the things that tell you what a cult is, it fits. And y'all, if this kills my struggling little channel, I'm going to go out being my authentic self, and I'm okay with that. But if y'all don't hate me, please hit the like and the subscribe and share this. We've got to come together. We got to find some ground that we can agree on. And we got to get that man out of that White House. He's killing us one at a time. I'm going to go look at the starred comments. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous. Yes, I agree here too. I've heard this. There are people masquerading as ICE officers who aren't as well, and they are using false warrants. I've actually heard that, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I have actually heard it. And I mean, I don't know. Did they think that she was harboring illegals, or I don't understand. But anyway, yeah, I agree. And the fact that they cover their face and their badge and refuse to identify themselves or who they are working with is illegal. John says, I've been absolutely shook by all this madness. I haven't had a good night's sleep in days. Me either. I can't go to sleep. I keep seeing that over and over. Julia says, it's been hard. I am sad for that beautiful woman who was murdered by ICE. I am angry that fellow Americans support this. I support everyone. I do too. Indigo says, that heaviness makes sense, Susie. To see how communities are falling apart is truly scary. It is scary. Heat says, I'm so sorry to everyone who is struggling with this stuff. It's scary as heck out there. It is. I mean, I'm like afraid, I've got I've got daughters her age that go to Tulsa, and it could happen anywhere. And they're not just in bigger cities, they're everywhere. And I agree, Marilee. I honestly don't think it matters what side of the political spectrum. This is insane. Yes, that's my point. That's why I mean this is not a Democrat thing. This is not a Republican thing. I am not blaming Republicans. I am blaming MAGA. John, this is not a red and blue issue. It's a human issue. We should all be outraged. Thank you. Indigo says, I'm honestly afraid for myself and my closest friends. I don't know how to fight back and stay safe. Who can I trust? It's not something I thought I would see in my lifetime. Me either. And, I was talking to a friend that said that if she'd had known what she knows now, that she wouldn't have had children. and that her son, who has always wanted a large family, says that he can't, in good conscience, bring children into this world now. And her daughter, she wants children too, and she kind of says the same thing, but she's still got hope that they'll change their minds, but also understands the fear. Marilee says, same for me. I'm afraid for my grandkids. Me too. Not only did I choose to bring children into this world, but then I have children that have chose to bring children into this world. And it's terrifying. I don't know, Lord Kiss Freak, why was a felon even allowed to run for office? I don't know. It is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Indigo says, I just wish people would look at each other with compassion and empathy. The lack of empathy is terrifying to me. Me too. John says, when I crossed the border last weekend from Canada back to Detroit, I was made to feel like a criminal in my own country, the country of my birth. What the fuck is happening to us? I don't know. I never dreamed that I would live to see the day that there would be like countries that wouldn't let US citizens in. I mean, we think of like Cuba or something, but Indigo says, "Oh, ICE is here. We've been making it through our state courts, through our city laws in Chicago, and being forced to keep them at bay. But I still don't trust things enough to protest." I know, it's scary. Julia says, I feel there has been a lack of morals in this country. I have seen our values in love, compassion, kindness, and empathy for fellow human beings. Yeah, it's lacking, isn't it? Mhm. Marilee says, as a Canadian, I don't think we're long, or I think we're long past denial. We can't trust a longtime ally. And that breaks my heart. I mean, it does. Julia, I feel our morals for compassion, empathy, and kindness has waned. I am saddened by all the violence. Me too. The fact that it has become necessary for us to video our situations. Yeah, to have the proof for ourselves. It is so messed up, isn't it though? And that we have to video ourselves, what's going on to protect ourselves from people that are supposed to be protecting us. But with all those people videoing, this man didn't care. He knew he's untouchable. I mean, it is sick. There was an elderly gentleman in Chicago pulled from his car and beat up by ICE because he was trying to go home and they were doing things around his area. Yeah, there was also a boy, I can't remember where it was at, and I know there was a teenage boy that was drug out of his job at Target because he had the name of somebody that had a warrant, same name, very normal name. And they kind of roughed him up, and but they found out that he wasn't who they thought he was, so they dumped him out, battered and bruised and bleeding by a Walmart. They didn't even take him back. I asked one question, would you be okay if I, Indigo, was put into a camp because I'm disabled and LGBT? Flat out, that could be reality that happens to all of us. Absolutely. I've got brothers and other family, and I'm like, are you okay with, that I could be put in some kind of a camp, as an enemy of the state kind of a thing? Are you okay with that? Every bit of this, yes. Oops, sorry. Hold on. I've been thinking that for days, Indigo. First the brown people, then the LGBTQ plus community, and then the disabled, and then the poor. Where does it end? Well, I know that all of these MAGA people that they think that they're safe are not safe either. Because this man is loyal to only himself. He doesn't give a flying for anybody else. They're all minions in his little power play. Yeah. It doesn't. We've seen what happened in World War II. If there's a World War III, I just hope that we aren't on the wrong side of it. Yeah. Although he's alienated all of our allies and ruined our trade. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who we would have left that would help us. I mean, Lord Kiss Freak says apparently Cheeto Man wants to do away with dual citizenships and revoking current ones. Yeah. Basically telling people to choose US citizenship or get the fuck out. If I had dual citizenship, I would get the fuck out. And that's just I would leave today. I would, and I love this country, y'all, but I would leave today if my family would go with me, my daughters, my grandchildren, my son-in-law, my dad. Eileen says absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. You're right. That's what we're seeing. I am. Yeah. Yeah, I'm afraid too that Canada will close its borders and I'll never be able to see my Canadian friends again. Yeah. Yeah, she was, Julia. She was point blank murdered. I don't support ICE. I don't either. The thing is this guy that did this, he is an ex military. Um and I firmly support our military. Absolutely. But I think it makes it worse because he's trained. He wasn't some rent a cop, you know? He wasn't some mall cop wannabe hero. He's trained. He's trained to put up with all the craziness that our military has to put up with when they are, in other places like Iraq and all that. And yet, I mean, I hate to say it, but bless her heart, even this Renee's wife is saying that, she feels like it's her fault because she antagonized him a little bit by videoing him. Poor baby, right? How would you like to be her living with that, right? But if somebody video recording you puts you into such a rage that you literally switch hands with your phone so you can keep recording and draw your gun and plant your feet firmly and shoot somebody in the face 3 times. You have no business with a weapon. None. I wouldn't trust that man with a slingshot. Anyway. Well, guys, I am going to go, and I'm hoping that talking this out will help. If you need to talk some more, feel free to email me or to message me or to join one of my many conversations I've got going on Facebook right now. But I'm here for you, and I just want us to all be safe. I want to wake up tomorrow and Donald Trump not be the president. And as evil as I think Vance is, I don't think that he's got the the support that Trump does. I hope. But anyway, I am going to go. I'm going to rest, and Mark's got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go live tomorrow or not, but I plan to, but I don't know for sure. So I will see you all in the next day or two. I love you. Please, everybody, try to get some rest. Try to do all those things that they tell us to do to step away from all this and just get some rest. We need our rest to be able to fight this. We've got to be on our game, So anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hope you enjoyed the show, so glad you were here. We meet here most days, we're but first coffee and you're welcome here. We talk about hard subjects, but we also laugh a lot. If you have a loss or win, we will cheer for you. We're but first coffee and you are safe here. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't want to miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't want to miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe